I'm getting chills. In 1988, this is so long ago. Oh my God, of course. Kia ora and welcome. My name's Zoe Stevie and I'm your vocal coach for today. I am so excited today because I've been looking a lot at Eurovision here on the channel, but we're going to be taking a look at Céline Dion with, oh my God, excuse my French, Ne partez pas sans moi. I'm going to regret saying that on the internet, but anyway, we'll give it a go. I'm super excited. I've actually never heard this song before. She's obviously, you know, Céline Dion. She's incredible. And she won Eurovision for Switzerland, of all the places. But odd. So I'd love to know why. Let's see what she's up to with her vocal technique.
Vous qui cherchez l'étoile, de l'espace au cœur plus grand que la terre.
Okay, so obviously I don't speak French, but we are here and we know what Céline can do, right? This really feels like she's holding back her voice, and that's so important that we start a song relatively quietly so we've got somewhere to go. Let's just go back on that because I'm really loving this thick vocal fold. It's a chest voice, but it's very quiet.
Vous qui vivez en rêve, vous, héros de l'espace.
Actually, I stand corrected. I think vous, she's going to this aspirate offset and allowing quite a lot of breath to come out at the end of the phrase. Now, that can, I mean, look, Céline Dion thinks of every single moment and the planning of that, so that's definitely planned on her part. That can sort of show this sort of like this exhaustion, this sort of feeling of being finished, this like, I don't know what to do with myself when we're talking about in terms of the emotional impact of using that for, you know, for people like myself who don't speak French.
Héros de l'espace.
And then, and then she lets go of it. A little bit of twang coming in there that can help to close the vocal folds, help to add a bit of volume to lower notes or quieter notes without thickening up the vocal folds.
Plus grand que la terre, vous, donnez-moi ma chance.
I'm getting chills. I got no idea what she's singing. She's just such an amazing singer. I cannot believe that Céline Dion took part in Eurovision, honestly. And in 1988, this is so long ago. Let's just watch this movement of the, you know, this change in the timbre from that verse to the chorus.
Plus grand que la terre, vous, donnez-moi ma chance.
We're actually down on the A3. So that could be another reason why she's also using a slightly breathier vocal quality. We know that she's an incredible singer. We can start to hear now the thickness of the vocal folds coming in, but when we're lower in the range, introducing that amount of breath is going to help to go lower in the range. on the D5 there, straight out of the box in the very first chorus. She's showing us what she can do, and that's the whole point of Eurovision, right? To show that people that can sing, got to sing the whole alphabet, really. Let's just go back on it. She starts to get into the Céline sound that we all know and love. We're getting into that thicker vocal folds, but there's something really important about that sound. You can hear loads of thyroid tilt in that sound. So it is a thicker vocal fold. It's still chest voice, but with that amount of thyroid tilt, we're getting the elongation on the vocal folds that we need. Now, thyroid tilt is the thyroid is here, the Adam's apple where the vocal folds live. And when that tilts forward, it stretches the vocal folds and allows us to go higher in the range. So this is what we're hearing. That little cry that she's doing there signals loads of it. You have to remember, she had been singing for a really long time by this stage. She'd already been a professional singer for a long while. We're seeing, I'm having a little chuckle because you're sort of seeing her almost like bent forward a little bit in that sort of moment. I would never suggest to a singer to do that, but Céline Dion can do that. Let's just go back on. She's almost sort of like bent forward. Let's go. You see that mouth? Ooh, whatever the fuck those notes are. Did you see that mouth change there? Planeta. We had an open mouth for that more. The chest voice taken higher in the range. And then she go, ooh, closing the mouth there. Now that's not just part of because of the vowel. That's also because when we're going into that breathier, thinner vocal fold, the closed mouth position is going to help assist us to create that sound, also taking a lot of the volume out.
Les nouveaux poètes, vous, les oiseaux magiques, vous allez peut-être trouver de nouvelles musiques. Vous, donnez-moi ma chance.
Her connection to the lyric has always been so beautiful. We're seeing every single thought, and she's not, gesticulating and doing all of this sort of stuff. She's doing it with her face. She's doing it with the way that she is accenting the different parts of the words. And this is something that we're wanting to add into our singing, to actually say the words as if we're meaning them. This can be quite challenging. So I want you to think about speaking the words out loud as if they are a piece of text, like if you're saying just like a monologue to someone, and it's got to sound like it's actually you. That's the way I train with my singers, to get it to sound this natural, because that natural has to be trained in, because obviously these are not your words.
Donnez-moi ma chance, je veux chanter, moi aussi.
Oh my goodness me, gosh, wow. So loads of thyroid tilt. We have the chest voice there. You could really call this a mixed voice quality, but really it is about kind of judging between everybody's voices. We just need shitloads of thyroid tilt to get this sort of sound. We're hearing she's not a classical singer, but it's very classical in the way that she's approaching the sound, sort of placing the consonants rather than letting the consonants do more of the storytelling, which she sort of tends to do later on in her career.
La joie d'être libre sur des rayons, sur des soleils, sur des chansons, sur des merveilles et dans un ciel d'amour, de bleu de l'infini. La joie d'être libre, vous qui volez vers d'autres vies, vous qui volez vers l'endemi, ne partez pas.
Look, I do not sing in French and I do not speak French. I don't need to say that multiple times, but what we are hearing are quite closed vowels. When I'm meaning a closed vowel, we've got let's e, and even in those vowels, we are closing the mouth quite a lot. Whereas when we're singing in English, we do have a little bit more leeway in order to open the mouth and kind of flatten out a lot of these vowels in order to go higher in the range. But what she's doing is just such beautiful economy in the way that that's what I was meaning about the classical sound, setting up the tone and then dropping in those consonants. And that's a really great way to do it. I mean, look, Céline Dion's got like perfect vocal technique, right? Like she's setting up that sound and then dropping in those consonants, which can help us when we have a large swathe of our lyric with these closed vowels.
L'endemi, ne partez pas sans moi.
Wow, Eurovision was very, very different, wasn't it? So look how fancy it is. I mean, I know obviously the presenters, but can we see there as well the energy that she produced when she was singing? It wasn't about the dancing. It wasn't about all of the schnick-schnack. It was about really having that energy that comes through. You've probably seen this being referred to by, other vocal coaches about, like not singing from the throat, which I find honestly like really ambiguous, because it's like, well, where should I fucking sing from? You can only sing from the throat. Let's just give us that, right? But what we're talking about is this extra energy. This is why we have the show called The X Factor. This is what we call in singing the X Factor, that unknown factor to do with a performer that we can't help but we can't take our eyes off them, basically. And I believe that has a lot to do with the connection to the lyric and the amount of energy that's coming out. She's focused, she's thinking, she's looking at the audience, she's meaning what she's saying, and that's all we can really ask for. Obviously, she's also a fantastic singer. And when we just go back on this last vowel, she didn't really change the placement of the sound. We've still got quite a sort of, it doesn't end up going, someone, and it doesn't go into any sort of like yell mouth or change the position or the color of the tone. You hear that? It's exactly someone. She didn't go someone and then change it into a different sort of sound. And this is exactly what we're looking for, especially whether you want to call this mixed voice or whether you want to call this like chest voice taken higher with like a thinning of that. It doesn't honestly really fucking matter what you call it. What really matters is that we're saying we've got lots of thyroid tilt, we've got a closed vocal fold, we've got an engaged body, and we're not changing the sound for every open vowel. That's not really what we want. And that's what I'm seeing like a lot of prevalence for in today's kind of like more beltier style of singing. I'm saying beltier because, it's very very subjective about what we call belty or not. We're seeing a lot of vowel modification going on, and in a lot of musical styles that doesn't really work. And for example, especially in classical singing, I mean, not that we really belt as females in classical singing, but tenors do. But we are also, in musical theatre, we don't want that. We don't want to change the sound every single time. And honestly, I feel like that's quite lazy for singers to need to do that in order to reach that sound. So we saw her leaning back, somewhere, a little bit more body engagement going in there. Lifting up of the chin can help to arrest the even more forward movement of the thyroid, so that we're keeping those slightly thicker vocal folds for that note. But otherwise, she's keeping everything in exactly the same position. Probably not my favorite Celine Dion song, okay? Maybe also because I don't understand it, and also because I didn't really feel like there was a lot going on in the song particular, and especially in her voice, it was kind of quite similar throughout the song, but she did win, so who the hell am I? She's an incredible performer, and I look forward to looking more at her on the channel. So if you want to see more of it, then hit that subscribe button so that we can hang out more often and, enjoy Celine Dion, because she's incredible. And let me know down in the comments, did you get tickets to Paris? Because I, for one, am gutted. I did not get tickets to go and see her show. And I am going to get to enjoy it here with you all when people put up bootleg copies. So let me know. I'd love to share in your excitement if you've got tickets. So I'm going to put up some more Céline up here for you to keep learning about what she's up to with her vocal technique. Just remember, anyone can learn to sing. It's all technique. Céline keeps on working on hers. You should keep working on yours. I've got an application for singing lessons in the description below. So many things to do. Have an awesome week today. Happy singing. Ka kite anō.